Good morning and welcome back to the coverage of YCS Prague 2016. It's the start of day 2 and this is where it's crunch time. Just 3 more rounds before we cut down to the top 32. That means out of an initial 980 something players, only 32 will remain. My name is Oliver German, I'm your host for the weekend and I'm joined by Luke Withington.
Hey Ali.
Always a pleasure to work with you, Luke.
Yeah, and you too. We're back for day 2. We're going to see exactly what YCS Prague decides is the best deck.
Right. Yes, and we have seen like a little bit of a trinity at the top.
Yeah.
With Draco, Performapal coming in first, and then Monarch and Cosmo going toe-to-toe in second place.
Yeah, they swapped around during the last
at
couple of
one
rounds,
point,
didn't they?
yeah. Right. For now, let's show you the pairings, because we guys are going to be focusing on one of the so-called bubble matches. That means these guys are currently living the dream of still advancing to the top 32. This is table 30 between Cherry, Jan and Kovacic from Slovenia, and Cherry, of course, from Canada. We mentioned him yesterday.
Yeah, he actually lives in the UK now, and I think he's studying in the UK.
Right. And we call it bubble match because if you lose, your little bubble is going to burst, which means you're not going to make it to the top 32.
Yep.
So this is where it matters the most for these two. We're a little behind the schedule because the rest of the field has already started like 2 or 3 minutes ago. We don't want to have too much of a delay, so we can still do an interview with the winner after the match. And for those reasons, let's take you to the feature match table where these two are definitely ready to get their game on.
Yeah, they are. Here we go.
All right, here you see Cherry on the left and on the right. And in terms of decks, we do have 2 of the usual suspects this weekend.
Yep.
Monarchs
the top
for
2.
Cherry, with no extra deck, of course, and Draco Performapal for Little side note, in case you're interested, we originally wanted to go with table 32. That would have been Germany, Erhan Akusku versus Japan, Yu Shibata, Phantom Knights versus Monarchs. However, one of these two didn't make it to the table in time, so that's an easy win for one of them.
And so we see Jerry start out here with Patheism of the Monarchs, discarding his Stormforth. So that's less useful in this matchup than he would have been in the Cosmo matchup, so he's probably okay with that. So straight in with the spin that he's put on the Monarch deck, he's using the Quantums. So he's going to get the blue layer, and the blue layer is going to go and search out the red layer.
What do you make of this spin? We have seen it once or twice yesterday.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people seem to be cutting Edia and Eidos for place of the Quantums, but he's actually playing both of those. So he's playing Idea, Eidos, he's playing the red layer, the blue layer.
So sounds a little bit like overkill.
Yeah, a little bit. It's combining the 2 engines, but you know they all work really well with the deck. With being able to use Return of the Monarch quite a lot if you're using the Quantums, and just in general keeping the consistency up. I don't think his deck's as consistent as we saw from Marcello Barberi yesterday, the kind of turbo version we saw, where he was only really playing 33 cards, using Chicken Game and such. But definitely, he's got more resources in his deck to be used for certain situations, so we'll see if he manages to take advantage of those.
Right. And we see that Kovacic doesn't have any responses at this point in time.
No, he's got nothing.
It's not a good hand with so many monsters, or is it?
No, there's quite a lot of monsters there. He's got a Turtle and Master Pendulum. I think those marry up as far as the scales are concerned.
We got a
Master's
scale
low.
3.
Oh, and Turtle is big, yeah. So
that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, so he could pendulum some, but again, he's not really gaining any advantage from having those in his pendulum scales, to be honest. Shadow Dragon, that's quite a strange one. I've not seen many people playing Shadow Dragon in this deck. But in the dark version, I guess you do, because you can play Armageddon Knight and send it straight from the deck. And similarly to when we had Necros and people started playing Armageddon Knight to send the Djinn faster.
Right.
And they started playing Shadow Dragon to get around things like Mistake and stuff like that. Similarly in this scenario, I think so. You can obviously normal summon Armageddon Knight, send Shadow Dragon, and get rid of anti-spell fragrance.
Right. So no responses from for the time being. That means Cherry can just go on and continue making some plays right here.
Yeah, so he's going to use Airbus's effect to be able to put one of his cards from his hand back in his deck.
And that is actually the... Oh, no, it's not the Shadow Dragon.
It was the Gitto.
It was a key turtle. So the scales are now gone, basically.
Yeah. So well, Turn Toad still has a scale, but I don't know what the scale of.
Let's bring that one
is.
up again.
Oh, so
No,
that's low
so we
as
got
well.
we
So
got low and low now. Yeah.
So he's not going to be able to complete that scale.
So that was a really good hit.
That was a very good hit. Yeah. So even if we were going to see some like crazy pendulum foreplay from here, that's going to be less likely now. He's going to have to draw into some kind of scale. So let's see. So Jerry's actually started really well here. He's been able to, get his quantum using the teleports exactly how you want to get it. And then now he's got Ether in hand. He's got his setup. He's got domain and return on the field.
Yeah,
He's just pretty happy.
It looks like a pretty good start.
Yeah, the only thing that's probably not so happy about is the fact he's got Kuraz in his hand. You don't really want Kuraz in your hand ever. It's one of those things you want to summon that off Ether.
All right. Well, Ur did draw into a reinforcement of the army, so that allows him to unlock like a toolbox of cards in his deck.
So most likely he's going to go and get Armageddon Knight. I think. Let's have a look at his deck list here. So I think his only target is Armageddon Knight. Yeah. Just Armageddon Knight. So we can go get Armageddon Knight.
All right. But then there's going to be more searching and deck thinning, of course.
Yeah, so he can summon Armageddon Knight and send a card from his field to the graveyard. From his deck to the graveyard, sorry. So he needs a way to deal with Domain of the Monarchs here. Now, it's going to struggle because obviously he's got Shadow Dragon in his hand, so he can't send that with Armageddon Knight. But yeah, so there he goes. He gets his reinforcements of the army target. He's going to go ahead and summon Armageddon Knight. I think he is, or maybe he's got a different motive here. He might try and just wait a bit. He might try and wait till next turn to get rid of that Domain of the Monarchs.
Right.
Let's see what he decides to do here.
Yeah, he's definitely got a couple of options.
Yeah. Let's see what he decides on. So he is going to summon the Armageddon Knight, so he's going to try and make a play this turn.
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah, so maybe he's just going to, invest for next turn. So there's Zephyros. I'm unsure exactly how that's going to
help him
here, yeah. Unless he's, he can't summon from the extra deck. So the Domain of the True Monarchs says when you control a tribute summoned monster that neither player can summon from the extra deck. As you can see, Jerry doesn't have an extra deck, as typical with the new Monarch deck.
Yeah.
But Ur's obviously going to really want to be summoning from that extra deck.
Although we have actually seen a couple of Monarch builds with an extra deck.
Yeah. So here's Turn Toad. I don't actually know what the Toad does. What does Turn Toad do?
There we go. You can... it's the pendulum. You can target one face-up monster on the field, switch its current attack and def until the end of...
Well, there you go then. He's going to be able to...
just run over.
Try and run over Erebus.
Yeah. Well, Monarch's very low attack, very low def for the most part.
Yeah.
That was the classic way of getting rid of them, Book of Moon them or enemy controller them or something like that.
Yeah. However, Ether is going to be summoned here.
Yeah,
that's unsurprising, really, because Jerry had he had all of the resources required showed to his opponent, so his opponent really should have known that this play was available to him.
Right. And at this point in time, when you're in round 8 and you know that your opponent has also won at least 5 rounds on the first day, you don't put your money on him making a mistake.
No, I think not. I think that is a reasonable strategy sometimes to be able to say.
I'm not saying like you always should discard this strategy, but in this particular scenario, it doesn't seem like the best way to go.
So he's playing 3 Kuraz. That's quite a strange one, but he's playing 3 Kuraz. So he managed to get another one out there.
All right.
I think Kuraz destroyed itself and Return of the Monarchs.
Ur's little engine has come to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
And it's back to Cherry.
He is going to be able
now
to...
drew into an upstart goblin.
He's going so he's going to be able to... No, I think it's still Ur's turn. He's going to be able to use Zephyros' effect to bounce the Turn Toad back to his hand.
Oh.
To be used potentially next turn.
How did Cherry draw then? That was the summon, of course. Yeah, of course, the Kuraz summon. All right.
Okay, yeah, so he's going to be able to use Turn Toad again, but I think Ether has a much higher defense than we saw from Erebus.
Yes. I think it was 2,200. Oh no, Ether also has
Oh,
just
Ether also has
1,000.
1,000. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's
Yeah,
a
must have
Monarch,
just
so
been
they
run it.
all have 1,000
Yeah,
diff.
I thought at least one of them. I thought the like big Monarchs, the level 8 ones had slightly higher. But anyway, yeah. So that's just once per turn. Jerry must have misread that then. I misread that as well. I thought it was just once per turn. You could use that card. I didn't realize it was
Right.
once per turn on the card.
But it's a nice little combo with the Sephiroth and the Turn Toad.
Oh yeah, Zephyros. Zephyros is a big card in this deck. You can be constantly bouncing your pendulum scales to reuse them over and over again.
Right.
Which is really
So
good.
even if you don't have matching scales, you can do something with your pendulum monsters here.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's just been useful. And I'm not going to say that Ur's completely out of this now. He is going to be able to summon from the extra deck and going to be able to get rid of that domain. Because obviously he doesn't control Jerry doesn't control a tribute summoned monster
Right.
anymore.
Yep.
So let's see if he decides. I say if. He's probably going to exceed summon here.
Yeah,
gotta
I think
hope
that's
so.
almost a
You gotta
given at
hope
this
so.
point in time. What's a good target against the Monarchs?
I think just getting rid of domains probably a good thing. So domain does more than just limit your opponent's summoning abilities.
Yeah.
It also allows you to use its effects where you can show a Monarch from your hand and then it reduces its level, which means obviously it's easier to tribute summon.
Right. What's your best option? I mean, he's got a Diamond Direwolf.
Yeah.
That can definitely get rid of it.
Yeah, so I think what he's going to do, he's going to go into King of Feral Imps here, and then he's going to go and search out, I think, Lizard Draw, which is going to complete his scales.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be good. He's definitely going to go and search for a scale now.
And it's very nice to see how this deck continues to,
Yeah, there's Lizard Draw.
apply a combo, really.
Yeah, so even though he had to play quite unoptimally during that turn, he still managed to get through it. But, you know, we do see that Jerry, with the Kuraz combo, managed to really get some, get a lot of advantage
Get also
in his hand.
some value, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry basically has a full hand.
Yeah, he's got a full hand.
Despite throwing cards on the table.
He's going to be going up to 6 now, and then Upstart Goblin as well.
Yeah, which doesn't increase the number of cards in his hand, but he's going to see yet another card.
Yeah, so we're going to pend.
There we go.
Pendulum summon 3 monsters here.
Yeah, so Ur just completely emptied his hand, almost completely emptied his hand.
So now it's all about, let's try and gain some cards back from all of that pendulum summoning. So he's going to use Lizard Draw to begin with. So he's already pendulum summoned. He has no need for scales at this point.
And we've seen this yesterday in our last round feature match of round 7 when Ali Fabas was applying so much pressure, and he was really making use of the full Swiss Army knife that is the Draco Performapal deck.
Yeah.
There's
He
so
also
many different plays.
He drew a second donkey there as well, so
Yeah.
that's going to be really useful next turn.
Yeah, one of the key cards yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
In that match that we just mentioned.
Second donkey's really been brought to the top as far as the Performapal cards that are being played in this deck now.
Right. Speaking of yesterday's coverage, in case you guys are interested, we of course got everything up on YouTube already. That includes the round 7 feature match. So you can just head over to our YouTube channel. You can watch back to back all of yesterday's live streaming contents. All right, but let's focus on today. We still got the Domain of True Monarchs. That's the only card on Cherry's side on the field.
Yeah, as Ur's got quite a lot going for him right now.
Yeah, but similarly to Cherry's opening turn, where Ur didn't have any ways to respond, Cherry is now sitting in a kind of a lock where he cannot do anything on his opponent's turn, and he just has to watch and see Ur really unleash the combos.
Yeah. If Jerry had like a max C right now, it would be so different.
Yeah. Most likely, winning strategy for Ur would be deck out at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd have seen. Obviously, he wouldn't have extended this far into his combo. I think he'd have just stopped after the attacks even. Okay, so we're going to see an Exceed summon here. Not quite sure what he's going to summon. Obviously, Master Pendulum doesn't have the same restriction as Luster, where you can only Exceed summon using it into Draco Slayer monsters. You can just use it for anything. because it's a normal monster. So let's see what he decides to go for here. The only thing he can't do is use it for a synchro summon because of it was summoned with Ignista.
Right.
So going into a
Abyss Dweller.
Pistol, yeah, that's actually a good choice. So he's not going to be able to use his Prime Monarch. However, well, he's kind of messed up a little here, I guess, because Prime Monarch can be chained. But I say he's messed up. He's still going to be able to stop Patheism, but at the same time, he's reading Prime Monarch as if he thinks, oh, I'm going to be able to stop this, and then he just realizes he can't.
Yeah.
I feel like is kind of, that both players feel a bit under pressure here. Jerry didn't read the turn toad properly during the turn, funnily.
Yeah.
And not properly understood how Prime Monarch works either. So yeah, Abyss Dweller is going to get used here, and then Jerry's most likely going to chain Prime Monarch. Yeah. Or if he can't do anything with it. So let's have a look at Jerry's hand here.
There we go.
So he's got quite a lot going for him, really. So he's decided, I'm just not going to bother. I'm not going to use my Prime Monarch. I'm going to use my Red Layer instead. So Red Layer, you can search a Quant card, get a Quant card from your graveyard back to your hand where he doesn't have any.
Right.
And then here's Idea. So this is what we were talking about yesterday with the Monarch deck. So
yeah.
Idea is really kind of situational in the fact that if it gets stopped, then you're just screwed. But
then again, if your opponent only has one card in hand, like Ur has at the moment, it's fairly reasonable to go for it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Definitely. It's just one of those things where you think, is this situation going to really arise where I'm going to be able to just, normal summon completely scot-free?
Sometimes it depends a little bit on the way you're playing. You can force your opponent into such a situation.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like that way for Jerry here.
Yeah, I don't want to say it was. Well, I don't want to say it was truly lucky, but the fact that he didn't have Idea to begin with, he had other things to try and use his opponent's resources. Then came out with Idea. That was pretty good.
Right.
So Eidos here is going to give the extra tribute summon during the turn. So he's already normal summoned Idea, but he's going to get another tribute summon. So we'll see what he decides to tribute summon. So he's got a choice of Kuraz or Erebus.
Just checking his graveyard again.
Yeah.
And it's funny when you consider that Monarchs have never been known to be a quick deck. And after just one turn, he has a couple of cards in his graveyard, like around 10 or so. Yeah. These days, every deck is rather quick when it comes to that.
Yeah, I think just the way that the game is at the moment is quite quick, and you got to be able to set up your resources quite quickly. The most amount of setup you used to have to do back in the day was having a light and dark monster in the graveyard, right?
Yeah. And then sometimes it was really important to get 3 darks into the graveyard.
Yeah.
And not more and no less.
No more, no less. And then obviously we expanded to light monsters. Light swarm monsters even.
All right, so where's Jerry going to go from here? We're going to see a tribute summon.
He's going to tribute summon. There's no question about it. He's going to tribute summon. So he's going to tribute summon Eidos. I think he revealed Ebus for Domain. Okay, that's kind of surprising. But at the same time, I think that's a really good move. So he's decided, I'm just going to give my opponent some cards, because this is what Kuraz does. When Kuraz is summoned, you destroy up to 2 cards on the field, and then whoever owned those cards when they were on the field gets to draw.
Yep.
So he's drawn 2 cards here. Let's find out what he's drawn. Actually, there's another card that I can't quite see where it is, and I don't recognize too much. I think it's this Pendulum Rising card that he's playing. I'm not sure what it is, to be honest. And usually Ryan's quite quick on the draw, and if he doesn't quite recognize it, then he's going to have to read it.
Right, so Jerry passes play with an emergency teleport.
It is Pendulum Rising.
Yeah, 2 copies of Wavering Eyes now for Ur. Not that fortunate, actually.
No, because he's got no Pendulum Scales right now.
Yeah, and it doesn't really do anything against his opponent's strategy. Wavering Eyes is one of these cards that turn into like a 1 or 2 word answer to the question, how you're doing. I've had a couple of players that were like, yeah, I was doing really well. I was like 3-0, and then in round 4, my opponent had Wavering Eyes. And that's like all they say.
Yeah, so Pendulum Rising says, send one monster you control to the graveyard and special summon from your deck one Pendulum monster with the same level as the sent monster's original level, but destroy it during the end phase. So basically it's going to give him the ability to special summon one Pendulum monster from the deck with the same level as a monster that he controls.
Right. And he's just doing that, getting the Lizard draw.
I'm unsure, because he gets to special summon it, so it needs to be something that's going to deal with Kuraz immediately.
Right.
So we just had someone ask in chat actually about the contents of Jerry's deck. He is playing 2 Idea and 2 Eidos, just to confirm that for you. So that's a bit better than the 3 Idea, 2 Eidos that people were playing. I can't remember the ratios, but 2 and 2 seems a lot better than going with 3 and 3, just because it does break quite a lot.
Okay, here's the second donkey coming down.
Yeah, so second donkey is going to be able to go and search for a Performapal card. I think it gets sent to the graveyard, however, because he doesn't have 2 pendulum scales. So second donkey is usually really good when you've got your pendulum scales already set up. But when you don't, then that card gets sent to the graveyard. He's so cheeky, isn't he?
Sorry?
Second donkey looks so cheeky.
Yeah. Okay. It's leaving play now.
So he's using the Pendulum Rising.
Yep.
Let's see what he decides to special summon here.
What do you think is the best option?
I'm going to have a look. Let's have a look. So maybe Pendulum Sorcerer. Trying to decide what's going to be the best here. There's nothing that jumps out at me. I'm kind of in this mindset right now that he just really needs to deal with Domain.
Right. His 2 copies of Wavering Eyes are leaving play now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So he's there you go. Yeah. So he summoned the Pendulum Sorcerer. So Pendulum Sorcerer, you get to pick 2 of your cards and destroy them, and then you get to add Performapal monsters from your deck to your hand equal to the number you destroyed. So you destroy 2 Wavering Eyes.
It's a very nice way to replace cards that you really don't need.
Yeah. So he gets the Skullcrabat Joker. And what else is he going to go for? Probably a monkey board.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Turtle. Yeah. Same thing. He's gonna because he's gonna summon Joker and get the other one.
Yeah, I mean the general strategy is always pretty much the same.
Yeah. However, Pendulum Rising should be in the graveyard underneath the 2 Wavering Eyes, but try not to pry on that far too much.
Yeah.
So, Turtle. Oh, okay. So he's gonna
go for the Lizard Draw.
Yeah, the Lizard Draw in hand.
Yep.
So then he's gonna be able to use Lizard Draw's effect to draw another card. So he's just searching for an answer here. He doesn't main deck any Twin Twisters.
And
so he
now
tried
there's
to
a question. Summon is not working because second donkey already came down.
He did, yeah. Second donkey.
No, normal summon for this turn.
Yeah.
Is gone.
Second donkey was the first summon, and the second summon was Skullcrabat Joker.
And Ur actually plays a Treacherous Trap Hole, a card that we talked about yesterday. It's also running a bottomless trap hole. That's quite interesting.
Yeah,
Can he get rid of it in the graveyard?
No, so the reason he's playing these 2 is because of Trap Tricks Reflacia. So he can use Trap Tricks Reflacia. I'm pretty sure, he's playing Reflacia. So he can send them from the deck to use them.
And then depending on the situation, one of them is...
Yeah. So usually you play Reflacia in the first turn. So
you're
never going to have a trap in your first turn. Even if you already drew Bottomless, you can play Bottomless and then chain to get the Treacherous Trap Hole in the grave.
Right.
And, somehow utilize that.
All right, here we go. King of the Feral Imps going in for an attack.
Yeah, over the red layer.
So this is a little bit of a back and forth, this game. I really like how it's going up and down for
Yeah.
both of these players.
So he didn't attack Idea here. It's because Idea does do something when it gets to the center of the graveyard. You get to add a Monarch spell or trap back from your banished zone to your hand. So let's see here.
As the Abyss Dweller activation again.
Yep, I can see him using Prime Monarch now, maybe. He's just I think he's deciding whether he's going to use Prime Monarch.
I think he pointed to the domain of the True Monarchs.
Yeah, so he's skipping out on that again. He's
Yep.
going to use...
I don't think he forgot about it. I think he's consciously not using
Oh, no,
it.
definitely. He's consciously just deciding, let's not bother with that.
Okay, there's the emergency teleport.
Yeah, so teleport. So he actually had blue layer in his hand, which is unfortunate.
The thing is, it looks like Cherry's going a lot quicker through his moves right now. It seems like he's onto something
He's in
here.
control. I think he's very much in control right now. The more tribute monsters he gets on the field, the tougher it gets for to come back in this game. And just generally right now, we're seeing that Jerry's just having more monsters that are bigger than his opponent's monsters.
Right.
It's a simple concept.
Sometimes it works like that.
Yeah, just you have bigger monsters than your opponent.
Yeah. It doesn't
But
nearly
here we
often
go.
enough work like that.
Here's that treacherous trap hole. So that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. Yeah, that's a really big deal. So that actually means that control of the board swings back to here.
And do you see that card coming, like ever?
I don't think so. It's one of those things where you think, oh, he's got some strike set.
Yep.
He's got some strike set. Let's not worry about that. Let's just play into it and see how it goes. So he's actually trying to put one of the cards back. He's going to put it back. So that's Skull Kovac Joker. What was the other card in his hand? It was a Pendulum Sorcerer. So Pendulum Sorcerer is a small scale, so he can put that next to the Gi Turtle.
Let's bring that up again.
Yeah, so the Gi Turtle's
Just
big scale. I think it's 6, and Sorcerer's 2.
Right. So he's got access to pretty much everything. And how many face-up cards does he have in his extra deck?
Yeah, I only remember him sending a Lizard Draw. I think Master Pendulum earlier.
So
when he had an Ignister. So
doesn't sound like a gigantic pendulum summon is going to come.
It's not loads, but it's enough. And because, I think it doesn't matter even if it's not gigantic.
Oh, that doesn't work because we saw the Abyss Dweller earlier this turn.
No, that was during Jerry's turn.
Oh, right, okay.
We're back to...
Right, we're back to Ur, okay.
Yeah. So, is here, and he's going to go in with Ether. So this is absolute trouble for here, because obviously we're going to see Ether, and Ether's going to be a tribute summoned monster.
Right.
And that's going to be triggering the domain effect. Well, not triggering it, but
it's very interesting.
Applying that continuous
Cherry
effect.
not having anything really, just one card in hand, I think.
And Domain. Domain's just
yeah.
locking him down. Yep, that's just how it rolls, this deck. It's all about that big, important lockdown card, Domain of the True Monarchs.
Yeah, such a strong field spell.
Idea got destroyed.
I think the only field spell that we've seen that had a similarly crippling effect was Necro Valley.
Yeah.
And even Necro Valley doesn't really hold a candle next to Domain of the True Monarchs, if you ask me.
Well, not right now in this format, anyway.
Yeah.
I think Necro Valley overall is quite... If you compare to the cards side by side, you'd think that Necro Valley was overall stronger.
Yeah.
Just if you didn't look at the archetypes, overall Necro Valley's stronger. It doesn't need any requirements to be effective.
Right.
It's just
This
always
gives your monsters a nice push.
Yeah.
500.
Yeah. It's just the whole moving things from the graveyard being ineffective. It seems very strong in itself, and Domain might seem very situational. But when you've got all these Monarch cards with such consistency, it's just so useful.
Right. Okay, so once again the scale has been tipped, and this time it's favoring Cherry again. Just after Ur had this great comeback, actually. Cherry controlling the field. 2 copies of Aether, the Heavenly Monarch, on the field. But it is, however, Ur's turn. He now summons the second donkey. Face-up defense, that means that's his pendulum summon, I think.
Yes, so that was from his hand, so he can do that still. He can pendulum summon from his hand, and he's going to go get Skullcrobat Joker to his hand, because he's got the complete pendulum scales. Now, second donkey's actually going to get a boost here from the Pendulum Sorcerer, because the Pendulum Sorcerer's effect, when you special summon a Performapal monsters, all the Performapal monsters get 1,000 attack points. That's not going to be helpful right now.
Yeah, otherwise it would have been in an attack position, I guess.
Yep. But we are going to see Skullcrobat Joker being summoned. And a grand 1/8. I think Jerry's disputing here, so I think he's just looking to see,
asking whether the Pendulum Sorcerer is also affecting.
Yeah, is affected
Skullcrobat Joker
by the. Yeah.
Well, it says you currently control.
Yeah, so it's not.
Yeah.
That's why I thought that was going to go for this play. He was going to attack into the ether that was tribute summoned.
It's one of those things. Yesterday we've seen that where a player actually lost the game because he didn't read a card.
Yeah.
Oh well, he did read a card, but he forgot about half the effect one turn later.
Yeah.
And then really cost him.
Yeah, it did. But you know, here we see this happen. And I think Domain gives attack boosts to the Monarchs as well. I don't know if it's only when the Monarch attacks, but Domain does.
And that is it. That concludes our first game with Cherry coming out on top.
Yeah.
With Ur not seeing any options to fight through this little brick wall of 2 copies of Ether, the Heavenly Monarch.
Yep.
Monarchs again build a house.
Yeah, they built a really nice house this time.
A castle. We said the Monarchs are only building castles.
Yep.
So, and that is 1-0 for Cherry.
Just to correct myself, it was only when you attack with Domain of the True Monarchs.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I was just unsure.
Cherry 1, Ur none.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, guys, this is a bubble match. Like, they need to win to advance to the top 32.
We saw there just pointing at Jerry's field card zone, just saying, this was the issue.
Yeah.
This card was the issue.
Yeah. So Domain of the True Monarchs really making the difference in this first game.
Yeah.
Really, really good card.
It is the Domain of the True Monarchs. Only Monarchs can perform all the combos inside there.
Yeah. 800 attack during damage calculation is nothing to flinch at either. Really puts you over pretty much almost everything that people are going to play these days.
Yeah, especially with Airbus or Ether, that's going straight over.
Yep.
It's going to put them up to 3-6. That's even bigger than the Mass Beast. I remember playing the Mass Beast. That was a long time ago. 3,300. It was 10 stars. Ritual monster.
Right. And yes, this first game took quite a little while.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think we got to that stage where Monarchs were locking them down and Monarchs were just struggling to get that going.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure when we started, but I think it's fair to say that 25 minutes have passed already.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So
we started about 10 past the hour.
Yeah, something like that. So there is a certain chance that this game is going to go to time, and if it goes to time, who's going to be happier about that?
I think at this point it's definitely going to be the Monarch player, just because he's ahead in this first game, and after 25 minutes being spent, 25-30 minutes being spent in that game, going into time when you're in this game, it's a strange kind of thing. When you're ahead in that first game, then it's always a good thing for time to happen.
Right. And speaking of time and paying life points, which is a big deal in those situations, Cherry is actually playing Solemn Scolding.
Yeah. So that's surprising. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. I bet he's going to keep it in.
For the second game,
he can keep it in for the second game.
And is that a situation? I mean, we still have enough time, but sometimes you also want to get rid of Upstart Goblin when you're going to time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you just start putting in other side deck cards that are just like mildly useful.
Yeah. So what's gonna come in? We see a Majesty's Fiend. That's one of the cards that has been making an appearance in the main deck
Yeah,
half the time. We saw the Monarchs in the feature match.
Yeah, it's actually not so good against the Draco Pal deck. It's still good, don't get me wrong, it's still a very good card, but it's all about locking down um, the pendulum summoning with Domain. Now, if you get that with Majesty's Fiend, then generally you will be in a really good spot. Majesty's Fiend is, you struggle to get Majesty's Fiend to your hand unless you naturally draw it, or by searching it with Return of the Monarchs.
Oh, actually, that is time in the round for the rest of the field. They, of course, started almost 9 sharp. I think like 9:05, something like that.
Yeah.
And we started like 5 minutes later, something like that. So
Yeah, we must be about 30 minutes into the round then.
yeah, so we only got around 10 minutes, like tops, actually.
Yeah.
Probably less.
Yeah. Well, here we go. So there's
Yeah, they're not wasting any more time.
no time wasted. Yeah, Draco Pals opening with the monkey board. Obviously, this was one of the cards that we saw that was affected by the adjusted list. For very good reason. if you go ahead, I was talking to Marcello yesterday. We didn't actually get a chance to talk about this in the interview, which is a real shame. But I was walking around talking to people about the adjusted list, and Marcello was saying he's so happy that happened.
Yeah.
He was really happy because it was him and Joshua Schmidt. Actually, I really wanted to get them both interviewed on Friday together because they were stood there and they were just bouncing off each other, telling each other just why the adjusted list was so good.
Yeah.
And they were saying, just think, what would happen if the Draco Pals deck had another 2...
We should totally do a little segment.
Yeah.
And have these 2 and...
Another 1 or another 2 of either Monkey Board or Skullcrabat Joker. Like, either of those, just one more.
Yeah.
Would be insane. Absolutely insane. It would make the deck so strong. And I think the thing that you guys might be able to see today, the video that Matthew put out about the adjusted list and about the reasons behind it. One of the things that Matt spoke to me about was that he really likes to see the deck building aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh, and the players enjoy it too.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's just when we were having the Pepe deck come out, it was just a matter of there was no conversation. The deck building aspect, it's usually some kind of conversation between the players.
Yeah.
This deck's good, this deck's good, this deck's not good, all that kind of stuff. And usually over the course of the format, we see those decks evolve. But it was just a matter of, no, this is the best deck. 29 out of 32 players in Atlanta played it, and they made the top cut. There was just no questions. It was absolutely just, no questions at all.
All right. So Ur is already hard at work applying pressure. He's not wasting any time here. Very explosive opening. And he's still not done.
No, he's
he
opened
just
crazy.
Keeps going.
He opened crazy right now.
And this time he does have like almost a full extra deck already.
Yeah, he's just going to keep going. He's already Pendulum Summoned because he Pendulum Summoned the Pendulum Sorcerer.
Yep.
However, hold the phone. He might be able to make an Aturia Beast here, otherwise he wouldn't have searched for Palamura. If he's not already Pendulum Summoned, then we're definitely... Ah, okay, Instant Fusion. He's not Normal Summoned yet. Okay, this is interesting. You might be able to play Norden and then with Instant Fusion and then get back the Pendulum Sorcerer. Or Soul Charge, that works too. So he's going to Soul Charge the...
Yeah, he's
Pendulum
got like
Sorcerer.
15 options, it seems.
There's more than 7 ways to Sunday right now, and he's going to go into the Aturia Beast.
Oof.
Here we go.
That's
Here we go.
A really good card against Monarchs.
I'm a little bit disappointed it's not dual terminal, but we can't have it all. Here we go.
Yeah, but wait,
Don't
there's
stop
more.
there.
But
Yeah.
wait, there's
Don't
more.
stop there. Keep going. See, just think right now, this would have been Ptolemaeus.
Quite honestly, I would hate to be Cherry in this situation right now.
That would have been a Ptolemaeus, and we'd have seen
honestly,
Infinity.
you
That's
fought
just
so
crazy.
hard for the first match. You spent like 30 minutes assembling all the combos of the Monarchs, putting your opponent in a lock. And then you're like, all right, I got this.
Once
I
you
might
got
make it
set.
to the top 32. I'm still in this tournament. Then you like just watch him.
Yeah.
His first move on the second game, and you're like, yes,
I'm
that's 1-1 then?
calling it now. Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
That's that like Naturia Beast. What do we see from Jerry here?
Yeah,
Jerry does have Edia, but and what we've got Traptrix for Fleischer on the field.
wow, that's like one of the most explosive openings, one of the biggest lockdowns we've ever seen.
Yeah,
That's definitely a highlight if ever there was one this weekend.
Yeah. So here's Treacherous Trapple from the deck.
Yeah,
Edia's effect being
because that is fair.
yeah. So Edia's effect being completely ignored here.
That's even better than an Effect Veiler. Because we talked about this yesterday when we said, yeah, Ada is really good, but Effect Veiler can really stop it. No, there's an even better option.
So
and that is it. Wow,
Yeah.
1-1 after just like, I don't know, 2 minutes of playtime.
Yep.
Kovacic tying the score, and now it's 1-1 between Cherian and Kovacic. Oof. Wow, that was something. Like yesterday we seen the power of the Draco Pulse with Ali Favas in round 7.
Yeah.
Winning quickly and convincingly in just 2 games, actually.
Just think about what this deck would be like if it had 3 Jokers and 3 Monkey Bots.
Yeah, if this was your first experience with Draco Pulse and you're like, oh, that was pretty good, and then somebody's telling you, yeah, by the way, it was like a lot better before. Yeah. You're like, wow, that's just crazy.
Yeah. As soon as he went for Palamura, I was like, what, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
There's a question. Sorcerer is not a beast material, is what some players are saying here on the Twitch chat. It should go to extra deck rather than graveyard. But there seems to be a little bit of a discussion whether that was incorrect or not. It was detached.
Yeah,
Pendulums go to grave when synchroed.
Yeah, when detached.
When detached, yeah. I think this is one of these issues where we have.
Hold on, yeah, when he instant fusioned for a Fleischer, I think.
Right.
Did it go to the extra deck?
Well, the other question.
Yeah, okay, it was Refleischer, but still, yeah.
Does it make a difference?
Yeah, I think it does.
All right, so we're not 100% sure about that.
Yeah, no, it was, yeah. It should have gone to the extra deck when it got synchro summoned with Palamura. Yeah, that is correct. So we wouldn't have seen Refleischer.
Oh, okay.
To be honest. Okay, well. Still, the Naturia Beast would have stopped a lot of stuff during that turn.
Right. Last game, interestingly enough, Upstart Goblins have not been sided out, even though we are like 5 minutes to time. And Cherry giving his opponent the upper hand when it comes to life points. And now we've got a T on the table. I think that's telling us it's time in the round. And considering that, I don't agree with leaving the emergency teleport, not the emergency, the Upstart Goblins in the deck.
Yeah, well, I think in the Monarch deck you just have to... You have to do it because you need the consistency.
All right.
But yeah, that's yeah. So people are a little bit confused. So I'm just going to explain that once more. So yeah, we did see Soul Charge on the Pendulum Sorcerer, which was then synchroed using with Palamura, and Palamura would have gone to the graveyard, and the Pendulum Sorcerer would have gone to the extra deck. Now we then saw the Pendulum Sorcerer go to the graveyard. Which it shouldn't have done, and then it got Nordened back onto the field and used as Exceed material. So that shouldn't have been in the graveyard.
Right. So it does actually make quite a big difference.
Quite a big difference, yeah, because you wouldn't have been able to see Treacherous Trapple.
Yeah, the thing is, all of that happened so fast.
It was very quick. I mean, both players just kind of, because Jerry did have more options after the what happened at the end there.
Yeah.
So, you know. Oh well, they're under a lot of pressure, these players. Yeah.
All right. So this weekend there's not going to be that much confusion in which turn we are going to be.
Yeah. So that's turn 1 of time.
That is, yes. And
yeah, I actually forgot to tell you about this. We didn't discuss this, but yeah, they made little turn counters.
Well, it's very intuitive, so I don't think there was a need to really do that.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go. So that's turn 1.
Pretty good opening for Ur.
Yeah. Well,
on his first
massive
turn.
restrict.
Yeah. It's kind of like a floodgate, even though the Monarchs are not like known for summoning lots and lots of monsters in one turn, which is usually what a Floodgate is trying to prevent.
Yep.
But it does stop them from, well, tribute summoning, which is even more important.
I think is taking the tactic here of just attacking. Let's just attack.
Right.
Good, nothing fancy. No, nothing fancy. I don't want to get hit by any big trap cards. Just going to attack.
All right, there's Sephiroth again.
Yep, so.
And the True Monarch is coming down.
Yeah, but still, he's not allowed to use that for a tribute summon.
Yep.
I think he's just using it as a blocker there.
Yeah, well, which also works.
Yeah, big body behind there. But Jerry still is much lower on life points because of those upstart goblins.
Yep.
And at this point, so as I was saying, he's just choosing to just attack, just get some attacks going.
Yeah, it's not the weirdest thing we've seen this weekend.
No.
That was probably the Ancient Fairy Dust in the Draco Pal deck, where he would go for a beatdown option, and it actually worked in one game.
Yeah.
Didn't work the first time. We were like, I'm not sure if this is a good strategy, but the second time it did work.
So we've got Key Beetle protecting Restrict there.
Right. Third turn of the extra time. So this is crunch time for Cherry.
Yeah, so he's going to teleport in blue layer most likely to get the red layer. Cherry seems to be really nervous now. He's got very, very nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's shuffling his cards really fast and just playing his cards too fast.
Yeah, which is interesting because, I mean, now they are in time. That doesn't mean that you can't just take forever to play your moves, but it's not like you're getting closer to time and you have to play really fast.
Yeah, I mean, they're in time right now, and I'm not saying they should be playing slowly.
Yeah, but you can take a little bit of time.
Take a bit more time than what he's taking right now.
Yeah, it gives you a feeling of he just wants this to be over.
Yeah.
Which is not the right way to approach this.
No, especially in the situation that these guys are in.
Yeah. But it's interesting to see how these games are always being dominated by one card, with the first game, Domain of the True Monarchs, the third game now, Mask of Restrict. There are these one-card answers, these silver bullets.
Yeah.
Well, Domain of the True Monarchs can hardly be called a silver bullet.
Yeah, but it's all about targeting the decks that you're playing and giving those decks the hard time using those cards. So it's just big weaknesses to decks.
All right, there's a Domain of the True Monarchs. Is there any way he can fight through Mask of Restrict?
Yeah, I don't see where he's going with this.
Yeah, it seems like this speedy play.
What?
He played a Domain of the True Monarchs and then he played a second one.
Ah, to reduce its level to level 4,
that's quite interesting play. Yeah. However, the bottomless trap hole is foiling that plan.
Yeah.
Banishing that monster.
Yeah, that was a really good idea, actually.
We haven't seen that before.
No.
But what's left now? Like, what else can Cherry do?
I think that might be it.
That might be it.
Especially considering
almost 4,000 life points is the gap between those two.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot.
Yes, quite a lot.
Let's just say that's a lot. All right. Ur did draw into a treacherous trap hole, which is now for the first time a dead card with bottomless in his graveyard.
Yeah, you can always go ahead and set it. And so you can see here that Ur is absolutely playing. You can always tell when someone, the way that he's attacking with his monsters and things like that, just the way that he's conducting himself in the game, he's absolutely just thinking, right, I just need to be as I am right now, and I should be fine.
Yeah. Right. This is we're entering the last turn by Jerry.
Yeah. So this is the last turn of the game. He needs to inflict 3,851 damage to win the game.
Yeah, but even then, Ur would have another turn.
No, I think that's it.
Oh no, yeah,
Yeah.
We're not getting there anyway.
Yeah.
Jerry realized that is it for him.
Oh,
And
that's
oof,
another
the next
Mask of
card,
Restrict.
another Mask of Restrict.
Yeah.
Way rubbing it in.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow, that was quite the comeback for Ur. But as you guys noticed on the stream, there was a misplay in that second game.
Yeah. Neither of the players noticed, and it's
Yeah, I think it was too much of a shock, and Jerry was already thinking ahead. How am I gonna come back from this? And thinking about his place in the next turn, I think.
Yeah. It was one of those, just here's my board deal.
Yeah.
Like by the time Naturia Beast had come out, I think they'd already thought, oh, that's
it.
That's too much.
And then you start entering this mode where you're like, okay, how can I come back from this?
Yeah, what can I do? What can I do?
Right.
Especially when you see Naturia Beast, you're going to think to yourself like, oh, how am I going to deal with that? And then that's all you're thinking about.
Yeah.
And then your opponent just comes out with the Reflationer as well, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm done. And
all right. So Draco Performapal being successful in this round.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the other matches at the very top in round 8. So let's bring that up for you guys, where we see these are the first 5 tables. These are the guys that are undefeated at this point in time. Well, no longer at this point in time. They were undefeated 40 minutes ago. We know a couple of these guys. Almost on every table, there's at least one player that we've heard of. Long Dao, of course, won on YCS before. Ali Favas made the top 8 a couple of times. Jay Quincy, top 8 more than I can count. Didn't win that often. That's a little bit easier to count.
Yeah.
And then Umhut Sarin and Valon Leturtre, last year's champion with Burning Abyss, still going strong, still in the field, undefeated. I don't know, actually he's X1 because Umhut is X1. And if we go just a little bit to the next 5 tables, more famous players. It's really a star-studded field at the very top. So you guys can look forward to some of the matches that we're going to bring you. And if you're interested in seeing what's happening at the top of the standings, we only have a couple of 6 players, in fact, that remain undefeated. And after that, it's everybody with an X1 record. So we don't have the tiebreakers here, but as you can tell, it's a very close affair. Let's go down a little bit. Of course, that's a little bit outdated by now because we have the results of round 8 for the most part, but we can only show you those once we got all the results in. All right. What do we want to see for the next round? What would be your favorite match?
Well, I want to see some more of the bubble matches. Let's see, who's gonna.
Well, there is of course the chance that we're gonna see one of these 2 guys.
Yeah, we could see who won from our previous.
Erhan was having the Phantom Knights. His opponent didn't show up, so there's a chance that we might get to see Erhan in the next round.
Yeah,
would have been nice for him, really, getting handed that easy victory.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
We're gonna try and talk to Ur in just a second, do a short interview. So we're gonna take a very short break, and then we're gonna be right back with the winner of our round 8 feature match.